Good day, everyone. So let's look at some factoring questions in general. We can use any method that we wish. All right. So and all the rules apply. So the first time that you look at a question, you need to check for all the GCFs. Take that out first, and then you go ahead, and if you can continue factoring the inside the bracket, then you'll do that. So let's look at example A. 8a cubed minus 4a squared. It seems that the GCF in here is 4a squared. All right, so you take 4a squared out. What do you get? You get 2a minus 1. Close the bracket. All right, double check. That's very good. 2a minus 1. We really can't do anything with that. You're done. Okay, that's as simple as that. Some questions are that easy. Look at the second example. Example B, p squared plus 20 pq, p times q, plus 36q squared. All right, this one is the one that you have to use the numbers here. So basically what you will do is two numbers you multiply, you get 36, you add, you get 20. And those are the possibilities that you got to deal with. So what are those two numbers? And when you look at them, well, 18 and 2, right? So here is the two bracket you open up. Now notice that each bracket will have a p and q in them, first term and second term. All right, and they're all positive because everything in the trinomial is positive. And then the two numbers 18 and 2, those are the two numbers that you're going to use. So, and in this case 18 and 2, 18 there, 2 there, and that should work. And then you check your answer. All right, always quickly check your answers, and in this case you can just do the rainbow again, and you can do it in your head if you wish, and you notice that that's the correct answer. All right, very good. Okay, example C, 7a to the power of 4 minus 7b to the power of 4. Let's go through that. First thing first, check for GCF. We got 7 and 7. That's the only GCF we have. Let's take that out. 7 is out. You get a to the 4. I don't know what happened to 7. Minus b to the 4. 7 disappeared for a moment. Okay. And now you look at the inside the bracket. Now this is a tricky one. You do have, apologies, don't know what's happening. Here we go. 7 is outside. When you see a to the 4 and minus b to the 4, it doesn't look like a square, but they are actually perfect square. A to the 4 is the perfect square of a squared. Okay, so another way of writing a to the 4, just as a nice side note, is a squared squared. So that's what the perfect square is coming from. All right. And once you have that, now you notice that this is a difference of a squares, and let's go through. Okay, and let's go through it and a factor. I made a mistake there. That should supposed to say b to the 4th. Okay, so here is what you need to do. Each of the bracket will have a and b in them, and now a to the 4th becomes a squared and a squared for each of the brackets. All right, because a squared times a squared is a to the 4, and then b squared and b squared, that will give you b to the 4th, and then negative and positive. Now here's the thing, you check again. Now notice that there is another difference of squares in here. There is no such thing as a squared plus b squared factoring. We can't factor the sum of the squares, so this one is not factorable. That's good. We can't really deal with that. But the a squared minus b squared we can. So the last step is you have to break that up again. So that would be a minus b, a plus b, and then you bring down the last piece, which is a squared plus b squared. So make sure that this part right there is actually equal to that part. That's what you're doing. You're factoring a squared minus b squared again. Now this is your final product. Okay, example D. GCF first. Notice that 3m is the GCF, so take 3m out, open the bracket, you get 9m squared, and you double check. 3 times 9 is 27, m times m squared is m cubed, minus 4. Great. Now you check. 9m squared minus 4, that's a perfect square. Alright, so 3m is outside. Now you'll get 3m minus 2, 3m plus 2. And at any given moment when you see these questions, you can pause and you can give it a try yourself, or if you're working in a group of 2 or 3 other classmates, you pause, give it a try, then you check with the answer that I've got here and make sure that it's working okay. All right, and this is your final answer for factoring example D. All right, let's look at example E. This is a little bit harder than other ones. So 2a minus 5 all squared minus 121. Let's factor that. Now we got a negative in order some minus sign in the middle. That tells us that this could be possibly a difference of squares. And let's check. Now, do we have a difference of squares? Well, let's look at it. The very first term. This is your first term. The entire thing is your first term. Is that a squared? Yes, it is. Right here. That's squared. So that's a perfect square. How about 121? 121 is a perfect square. What is the square root of 121? It's 11. So great. We got a difference of squares. Let's go through. Let's solve it. All right. Factoring. So here's what we're going to do. First, we're going to write the first term. Now, this is going to get a little bit uglier. So a big square bracket I'm going to use now. So the first term is 2a minus 5. That's the first term. All right. The second term must be 11. So I'm going to open up another one, another square bracket. Here we go. Same thing. First term is 2a minus 5. I'm not changing that as if this was just the first term x on its own and 121 was y. Okay, same thing. So y squared and x squared. So that's what we're doing. And then next one, next bracket will have the 2 term 2a minus 5 and 11. Now we're going to use the negative sign, and then we're going to do a positive sign. Okay, now this is, it looks ugly, but that's what that is. That's a difference of squares. All right, so if this was, if I would have had written this as x squared minus y squared, where x would have been this would have been your x, and 121 would have been written as 11. If this was 11 squared, you notice that you will have x squared minus 11 squared. X squared minus y squared is the same setup as what we have written down here, just a little bit uglier. All right, now last thing is that we usually want you to simplify the inside the bracket, so we can, right? So in this case we'll have 2a minus 5 minus 11, so that would be 2a minus 5 minus 11 is minus 16. Okay, how about the next piece right there? That would be 2a plus 6. Excellent. We are not done yet because we want to factor this completely. Is this factored completely? So no. So we got to factor again. Factor 2 out of the first bracket and 2 out of the second bracket. So we can do 2 out. We get a minus 8, close the bracket, times 2 out of the second bracket, a plus 3, close the bracket. And now the final answer will be 2 times 2 will be 4, and then put the brackets beside each other. That's what you will have. So this was a very involved question. Okay, so you go through it, make sure you rewind and pause, go through each of the steps and make sure that you get that. Okay.